Here we are, another day, another disastrous Disney dumpster fire. New set photos released for Snow White, and there was some controversy behind it. Let's talk about it. I don't know how I'm going to start my intros anymore, but let's just keep going because I'm about to go off on a tangent anyway. Snow White set photos sparked backlash for being woke. I think they sparked backlash because they look moronic. They look stupid. New photos from the set of Disney's live-action remake, because that's what we need. We need more live-action remakes. Little Mermaid is not going to teach them anything. I think The Lion King was a flash in the pan, and it's been going downhill ever since. Disney recently began production on their latest live-action remake, because maybe the writer strike, writer and actor strike, is going to shut down that production. Maybe it'll be tossed aside and just chalked up as a loss. We can only dream. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Okay, now that set photos for Snow White adaptation have been leaked, however, the production is facing backlash for being woke, because people don't understand what woke is. Well, no. You be the judge. You go ahead and you be the judge of these photos. I'm not going to scream at the top of my lungs, oh my God, it's woke, just because I saw a picture. Red flag, sure. Just a picture? Now, granted, I've seen the photo. I'm sure everyone else has, and we're going to look at it in a second more closely. It just looks bad. Hollywood has been doing their best to increase diversity in new film and television projects. They've been doing so by digging up old beloved franchises that they want to keep the copyright or keep the trademark on, and they butcher them to the point of being unrecognizable. They do not have a creative bone in their body. So they figure, let's just take this old franchise, slap Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs on it, make it live action, put it out in the theaters, and people will love it, right? Because my diversity, my inclusion, and all this other shit, forgetting that there's an actual story. There's a reason these characters are what they are. And thinking that normies are just going to go to the theater blindly. They're not. Not anymore. Various, seem to be receiving backlash on social media due to the titular character being played by a Hispanic woman. She's got a bit of a tan. Snow White was Snow White. It was because of her complexion. Whether you like it or not, it's part of the story. Again, but, oh, wait. It's the best person for the job. It has nothing to do with using this individual as a shield for their trash writing, trash story, as has been done in the past. No possible way it could be that. Additionally, the dwarves are also depicted with different races, genders, and heights. That's because they're not dwarves. They're not midgets. They're not little people. Whatever PC word you choose, they're not. Because you just got to look at the photo. There is only one actual dwarf, thanks to Mr. Peter Dinklage, who ran his mouth not that long ago. Well, I guess a while. Ran his mouth saying that remaking the Seven Dwarves and having dwarves in the movie is just backwards thinking, because heaven forbid actors of your stature and demeanor can't get a job after you've already made a name for yourself, Mr. Peter Dinklage, Mr. Tyrion Lannister. Disney spokesman is also said to have claimed the images were fake. Well, not entirely, because they came out and said something else. Oh, fucking magical creatures. I saw this word. They later clarified the statement, however, expressing that while the images were indeed from the production, they were not official photos. It doesn't matter if they were official photos. If these pictures right here, if that is the costume design, the costume designer needs to be fired, because these are atrocious. My goodness. I believe this is a stand-in for Snow White, but the dwarves, I believe those are the actors playing the dwarves or the not dwarves. It's also worth noting that Snow White character featured in the picture is actually a stand-in. Yes, we know that, for Rachel Zegler. As for the other characters, they replaced the original Seven Dwarfs. Don't believe they said that. They replaced oh, no. Those characters replaced the original Seven Dwarfs as the film's, quote, magical creatures. So, Snow Not So White and the Seven Magical Creatures. Is that what we're getting? Is that what Disney is trying to push on families and adults who grew up with the original Snow White? And this is what we're getting. Of course, Twitter was lovely. Let's see. So they have one little person playing a dwarf, to be more politically correct. So 6 other little people. No, they're just short. They're just shorter. Little people didn't get the job. Yes, you kicked 6 other dwarfs out because you wanted to be politically correct and listen to Peter Dinklage. Disney is a joke. Disney's been a joke for quite some time. Let's see. The phrase dwarf was considered to be a reinforcement of a negative stereotype following comments made by actor Peter Dinklage, who decided to pull up the ladder as once he got to the level of stardom and success that he needed to be, and pulls up the ladder for all the other people of his demeanor and stature. Whatever. Thus, Disney plans to make some very interesting changes. Shitty changes. Trash changes. Absolute garbage changes. Fans have already responded. Let's see how many responses do you got here? Let's see. Oh, here's another one. Meet the cast of Disney's new woke Snow White film. Snow White is a Colombian now, and the 7 dwarfs look more like 7 normal-sized hipster... Okay, we're not going to say that word. And 1 dwarf from Portland. Oh, God. Snow White no longer has skin as white as snow. Absolutely ridiculous. Snow White is Hispanic, and the 7 dwarves include 6 fully grown adults. Snow White original versus the remake. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Disney's live-action remake of Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs looks like another mess. Another woke mess compared to the original. Please, you probably don't want them to... They probably don't want you to compare it to the original because you'll see how much worse it is. Though some had no issue with the changes, okay? Imagine getting pissed off because Snow White is Hispanic. It's the basis for the character. Imagine having absolutely zero creativity to the point where you have to... bastardize beloved classics. Imagine that. Imagine expecting better from the studios. Better from a studio like Disney especially, who's put out many, many wonderful stories, wonderful animated classics throughout over many, many decades. Just over and over. And now, over the past decade, they haven't been able to... I don't know. It's just been getting worse and worse, but hey, that's my opinion. Got to say that so people don't get moving on. One thing I don't understand is this woman right here. Gal Gadot is playing the evil princess. The evil princess? The evil queen. I find it hard to believe, no offense, this is a pretty woman. Gal Gadot is going to have to be uglied up for this movie because I can't imagine her being threatened by Rachel Zegler's beauty. Again, just my opinion, but the costumes for these dwarves look horrible. It doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry. It's Snow White and the 7 dwarves, not the 1 dwarf and 6 other people. But more backlash, more trouble for Disney, yet another live-action remake that I seriously doubt will do well at all. Especially, well, we'll wait and see what the budget is. If it's anything like Little Mermaid, no chance in hell it'll make it back. But let me know what you think in the comments. Leave a like, leave a dislike. I appreciate you making it this far. Have a good one.